to Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week. It is win or go home for both teams. The West High Warriors hosting the Leuzinger High Olympians, and the West High Warriors are flying high, winning 2 in a row, tied with Leuzinger at 2-2 in the Bay League, waiting for that last spot, that last go-to spot in the CIF playoffs, and Leuzinger is reeling after losing 2 in a row.
Well, you're exactly right, Lou. It's do or die. It's as simple as that. Talk to Coach Tyler before the game. He knows what the deal is. His players know what the deal is. There's nothing left except to come out and win or go home. But it's a team heading in two teams heading in different directions. As you mentioned, West with a 2-game winning streak, Leuzinger with a 2-game losing streak with an awful loss at home last week. But they tell me they've gotten it out of their mind. That's all behind them. Tonight's a brand new day. In essence, for both teams, their playoff run starts tonight.
We'll be back with the kickoff right after this on Channel 22 Sports. Does this field have a name? Does this field have a name?
No, not that I know of.
It's a new one, though. Got that new turf.
Yeah.
It's made out of recycled tires.
Right.
It is.
Okay.
High School, along with Rufus Washington and our Warrior cameraman Jeff. I'm Lou Stowers, and happy to have you with us on the final season game, regular season game of the year. And if Leuzinger can win, not only will the Olympians go on, but so will we. And last year, the Olympians took care of the Warriors 42-7 at Lou House.
Well, they certainly did, Lou, at Lou House, but it's a new year, new day. A couple of things are the same. Of course, Deshaun Burton under center for the Olympians. And again, they're hoping for a repeat of the same.
Kickoff is fielded by the Olympians. And here comes Poulian, Roderick Poulian gets it up to about the 30-yard line. And that's where the Olympians will take over 1st and 10 for Deshaun Burton.
So Poulian gets him in good starting field position, Lou, by getting him out to the 30-yard line. Boy, sometimes you get a little more than you wish for. We didn't want to change both positions, but I tell you, we're sitting directly above the West Torrance marching band. So it's going to be a challenge all night long. But they are a good group, a very stirring rendition of the national anthem as the Olympians take the field.
Sure was. Spread offense employed out of the shotgun. Actually out of the Wildcat. The snap went right to a running back, and it's a loss on the play of about a yard.
Quarterback Tayshawn Burton
after it was actually Tayshawn Burton did keep the ball.
Down by number 16,
and they're going to say it was a loss of 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 11.
Loss of one, and interestingly, the Olympians start out in the shotgun. They had problems last week with the snap from center because their regular center was injured. And talking with Coach Oliver, we can expect to see more snaps tonight with Burton under center, but I think they want to try to keep the Warriors of West Torrance honest right now.
And the pitch is fumbled, and it's West ball.
And the ball is recovered by West High. Number 9, Trevor Neer with the fumble
Trevor
recovery.
Neer with the fumble recovery for the Warriors, and it's excellent field position for West High at the 25-yard line.
So it's an inauspicious start for the Olympians on their second play from scrimmage. They cough it up in a game in which they're going to have to play virtually error-free here in the early going. I could say second snap from center. They fumble it on the pitch.
So now, quick pitch on the play as the ball goes to the near sideline to Kyle Slowey, and that's a loss on the play. Good defense by Ike McCullough. As Slowey loses 2 yards on the play.
Brought down by number 2.
Good coverage by the Olympian defense. They're going to be tested early, though. West has some weapons. As I mentioned, this isn't the same West team that they defeated last year at home by a margin of 42-7. This is a West team that right now comes in this game 6-3, and they're playing their hearts out on their home field on senior night for a playoff spot as well.
Ronnie Clark out of the eye, but the center was knocked down as Keister, and that was Damian Waters, was knocked down by
Penalty will be a dead ball offside.
Wow.
Called against Leuzinger.
Isaac McCullough. So
5-yard penalty
an
from the
offside
previous
by
spot.
the Olympians, and they
Second
shoot
down.
themselves in the foot again.
Well, that certainly doesn't help their cause. It's still a second and long. It's about a 2nd and 7, it would appear. And that's what they put on the scoreboard, 2nd and 7 for West. So
Clark out of the shotgun. Hengler to his right. Hengler gets the handoff, trying to go around left end, does get through, down inside the 15 to the 10-yard line. So Hengler, Dan Hengler, is doing it again.
And that's expected. Hengler, the big running back, Hengler with 797 yards on the season coming into tonight's contest, represents the ground attack for the Warriors, and they give the Olympians a taste of it here early going.
So a gain of 12 yards for Hengler, and it's first down, 1st and goal for the Warriors.
Wow, ball spotted right on the 10-yard line, so they've got to, you're right, they've got to go the distance from here.
Clark hands off to Hengler again, but a good tackle coming in was Lau Kavenga, the 5'11" senior,
Cut down in the backfield by
and a
number
good
3,
play by the
Talao
Olympians
Kavinga.
inside the red zone.
Well, Kavienga, the latest edition in a long line of Kaviengas at Leuzinger High School, and he's certainly shown his mettle and his worth throughout the course of this season. He's another one of the many seniors for the Olympians.
Ronnie Clark, the senior, 6'1", 185 on senior night here at West High, so if they didn't have enough to play for, they're playing on their last time on this new field, this new synthetic turf field. Out of the shotgun, Hengler to his right. Pass is complete, and out of bounds at the 5-yard lines to Slowey. Tackled on the play by Kavienga. But it's a gain of about 7 yards, 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and goal with 5 yards to go.
We'll bring up 3rd and goal.
And they spot the ball at the 5-yard line. So right now, Lou, with their backs against the wall, the Leuzinger defense is holding steady. But boy, they've got a tall challenge to try to keep this Warrior team out.
Now they're in 4-down territory right now, Rufus, but Ronnie Clark, I'm sure, wants to end this one right now. Man in motion, the handoff goes to Hengler. Hengler up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown Warriors. 5-yard touchdown run by Dan Hengler, and the Warriors make the turnover into 6 points.
So Engler, as I mentioned a moment ago, they gave him an early taste of him, and it looks like they may get a heavy dosage of Hengler tonight. Talking about the Leuzinger defense, another situation where they're going to have to figure something out here in the early going as they fall behind very early in this contest.
Extra point try is up and good. So it's 7-0 in favor of the Warriors. And the extra point was tacked on by Michael Laporte. So that drive at the 8:25 mark took 3 minutes on a Hengler touchdown of 5 yards. And it's 7-0. It took 6 plays and 25 yards. So they're going to try it again. And the kickoff returned in for the Olympians. Roderick Pullian to the near side. And Denzel Idris to the far side. So they'll probably kick it over to the near side again towards Pullian.
Well, Pullian is an excellent return, man. I think they may like to stay away from him this time. And if they've scouted this Olympian team properly, they do know to stay away from him. But Denzel Idris, their biggest threat, isn't back there tonight.
So it's 7-0 Warriors. 8:25 left to go in the first quarter. And again, we're right in with the band here at West High School. Denzel Idris gets it on a bounce at the 21-yard line. Idris gets away from 2 tacklers and is finally taken down at the 23-yard line. And Jonathan Leota could have gotten tagged with the penalty, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Olympians at the 24-yard line.
At the 24, and I need to correct myself. Actually, Idris, well, that was Idris on the return. Didn't get a good look at the number, but that's a good sign to see that he actually is back in the return team for the Olympians. And, of course, we know he's going to be in the offensive scheme for him.
Jonathan Jackson and Pullian are split wide to the near side. 2 other receivers to the right of Tashawn Burton. Has 1 man back with him. Burton looking to pass, is flushed out, throws on the run, caught over the middle by Idris, and a terrific catch by Denzel at the 37-yard line. That's good enough for an Olympian first down.
And Denzel's a guy who's going to have to come up big for this Olympian team. But let's face it, they've got enough weapons to compete with anybody. And the trick tonight is going to be to see if their weapons can get on track. We just saw Hengler. Now let's see what Tashawn Burton, the leading passer in the Bay League, can do against this defense.
Came in the game with 2,452 yards and 20 touchdowns. Handoff up the middle. And the Olympians get good running room, a good hole over the right side. And running with the ball is Lau Cavienga. And Lau gets a terrific run of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 2. So with Trevon Davis out with a wrist injury, Cavienga doing a good job. Cavienga. Actually, everybody is in the pattern now, and the handoff is to Cavienga, and he is wrapped up for about a 1-yard loss.
Not much doing for Cavienga on that play, but the interesting thing to note, Lou, was the fact that Burton was under center on that one, and as I mentioned before, I think we can expect to see a lot more of that tonight. It is an adjustment for a team that's operated almost exclusively until the injury last week out of the shotgun, but it's a necessary adjustment.
Sean O'Neill made the tackle for the Warriors. It's going to be interesting for me to see, Rufus, how this Olympian team reacts to this fast synthetic turf with the speed that they have. As coming wide is Ike McCullough along with Jared Simmons. Both of those 2 guys have to have a big game tonight as well. Burton, 1-step drop, throws it on the run to the sideline, the far sideline. Denzel Idris gets across midfield to about the 46-yard line, and another first down for Leuzinger.
Well, they're moving the chains on this drive, and that's a good sign. This drive started at the 24, at their own 24, and now they're in West Torrance territory. Looks about at the West 47.
So a 9-yard gain. And Denzel Idris so far coming up big. 47-yard line of West High School to Sean Burton under center. Looks like from under center they're going to get rid of the ball quick, maybe. Fake handoff, play action. Burton throws to the near sideline, pumped by Simmons as he does an out, down and out inside the 40-yard line. And a terrific pass by Burton again, going to the left side.
Jared Simmons with the reception had a big game last week for the Olympians as well, and of course has done an outstanding job of picking up a lot of slack since touchdown Tony Sawyer had to move over to defense, largely due to his injured wing that he's had all season. But Sawyer, giving everything he got, playing defensive backfield for the Olympians this is senior year when he had hoped to be a major part of this offensive threat.
And boy, has he really been getting it done on defense as well. Burton out of the shotgun, looking over the middle, caught by Simmons again inside the 30-yard line to the 25, and another first down catch for the Olympians. Slowey with the tackle.
Jared Simmons.
And this is a good-looking drive by the Olympians, Lou. In fact, their best-looking drive in the last couple of weeks. In terms of what's happening right now, man, they're just picking apart Tashawn Burton, who, again, will obviously be all Bay League first-team quarterback. Right now, it's just picking this defense apart.
It's a strong spiral throw, and Simmons was wide open. Simmons now split to the near side. Two receivers, one in the H-back on the other side of Burton. Idris goes in motion. Kavianga, the lone backfield, gets the pitch going around the right side. Look out, gets away from one tackler and is wrangled down near the far sideline for maybe no gain. So the speed of the defensive speed of the Warriors, maybe that's one of the reasons why Deshaun is going to be under center a lot tonight.
I think it's that, and another thing that I'm noticing, Lou, that's a challenge for the Olympians is maintaining their footing on this field. That's the second time I've seen a guy try to cut back, something he's used to doing on a grass surface, and this synthetic surface is just a little bit slick. It'll take him a while to get used to it.
Second down and 11. Burton on the play action, punts it short, throws long over the head of Simmons, and it'll be third down and 11. He was much by number 9, Trevor Neer. And Dave, that's a good point, Rufus, because I was anxious to see the speed of the Olympians, but they probably only have one set of shoes, and that's for the longer pleated for grass. They don't have the sneaker type for here.
Exactly. And that does make a difference. I don't know whether that's in their equipment bag or not, but it's certainly something that would help them.
Simmons and Idris split wide to the right side. Kavianga back with Burton to his left out of the shotgun. Burton throws it short on the swing to Simmons, and he's going to lose some yardage. Maybe gets back to the 25-yard line, so it'll be fourth down and about 13, 14 yards to go. And we're going to see if Omar Busio is going to come on to try to kick a field goal or if they're going to go for it.
Initial hit made by number 21, Stephen.
Well, this will be an interesting decision for Coach Toller because from where they are, 25-7 is 32. It's a 42-yard field goal. Boy, that's got to be right at the edge of Busio's range, and we don't see him out there, which means that the Olympians are going to go for it on 4th and 13.
4th and 13 with 3:49 left to go in the first quarter, down by 7.
May as well look end zone.
And they are going end zone. Caught by Simmons in the end zone. Touchdown,
there you go,
Leuzinger.
baby. What they say, you may as well look end zone from what you got to get.
Touchdown, Leuzinger.
And Jared Simmons with 3 big catches on this drive gets the payoff as he split the seam between the defensive back and the safety in the end zone. Nice catch and a beautiful throw.
It was a beautiful throw because when you talk about throwing in a double coverage, he threw right into the teeth of it. But, man, this guy Jared Simmons was there to make the reception, and, boy, the Olympians answer right back. That has to lift their spirits, and more importantly, what it does is that it keeps their defense off the field for a while.
And a
Some
Kind of
things
a
you
funny
do,
little-
you wonder why. I mean, yeah, but
Hey, it's
it's
senior night.
something they like to do. Kick is up.
Did he make it? Nope.
Wow.
He hit it like some of our drives off the golf course and shanked it to the left.
Yeah, he certainly did.
3:41 left in the first quarter.
So that makes it
The score is Leuzinger
7
only at
to
6,
6.
and your West High Warriors
West
7.
leading Leuzinger. But what a drive after Leuzinger could have just put it away, really, as after the turnover and the touchdown by West. But they came back strong.
They came back real strong. Very impressive drive. Now, that drive has to make Coach Greg Holton. He's been in this battle with the Olympians the last several years. These two teams are no strangers to each other. That has to concern him a little bit because I got to tell you, Deshaun Burton picked their pockets clean.
So a 10-play drive that started at the 24-yard line, so a 76-yard drive that took about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. 25-yard touchdown pass to Burton, from Burton to Jared Simmons.
And this is where special teams will come in. It's going to be up to the Olympians to see if they can now
So number
pin
one,
these Warriors deep in their own territory.
David Rodriguez getting some playing time, not listed on our roster. As Busio kicks it high end over end to Rodriguez at the 5-yard line. Rodriguez gets past the 20 to the 25, runs into his own man, and then that gives Ivan McLennan time to ramp him up after about a 20-yard return.
And that was a good recovery by the Leuzinger special teams because I got to tell you, boy, you talk about having a hole over here on this side. He had one, and but for a touchdown saving tackle, quite frankly, if you ask me, from behind, we might have been looking at a reservation for 6 on that one.
Ivan McLennan looked at him today and I thought, my goodness, why isn't that young man playing? 190-pounder, 6'1", junior. Going to hear a lot from him, I'm sure, in the future. Ronnie Clark out of the shotgun. Has Hengeler to his right. Throws it, and it goes through the hands of Hengeler. And he was being watched by John Leota. So it'll be second down and 10.
They roll Hengler out of the backfield, attempting to get him on what was a slant, and it didn't work for him on that play.
So second down and 10. We'll see if Leuzinger's defense can follow what the offense just did. Boy, that was just an impressive drive. Mostly via the pass.
Mostly via the pass. But then it's been that way all season.
Clark hands it off to Hengeler, and he rumbles to the 31-yard line. Leota on the tackle, along with Terrell Guerrero.
Brought down by number 3, Talmo Lau Kavinga.
A 4-yard gain. It'll be third down and 6 for West.
So big third down play. Of course, third down's always huge at every level of football, from junior All-American all the way up to the NFL. And right now, it's important right here on this West Warrior field as the Olympians are looking to stop them and get the ball back.
Lau Kavienga, the middle linebacker, calling out the defensive plays. Ronnie Clark hands the ball off to Slowey, and a terrific play. Kavienga is there.
Wow, flag came in from the far side.
Ike McCullough as well, so let's see what that is. Initial loss on the play of about a yard. Our referee for tonight is David Batnotch.
Illegal block in the back is the call against the Warriors. That penalty will be declined.
So it'll be fourth down, as you heard the PA announcer. Illegal block.
7 for West High.
Well, both teams were holding their breath because each one of them knew that it was going to mean a lot one way or the other. And that one, the Olympians will gladly take. They declined the penalty on the fourth down play, 4th and 7. They're going to get it back on the punt.
So Denzel Idris back in punt receiving formation. Denzel, by the way, I did have some of his kickoff return numbers. is around 25 yards a return. That's what he's averaging.
Now the official, okay, whatever it was, they got it straightened up. But I saw one official come out and hand the referee some type of board or something.
An Emery board?
Not sure what it was, but the ball's back in play, and that's a good thing. Because as you said, Idris, the lone man, the single return man that's back to receive this punt.
Slowey will punt the ball away. It's a low one, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Looks
like
like
off the side of his foot. And terrific field position for Leuzinger.
Wow.
As the Leuzinger Olympians are going to get it around the where about the 44.
I thought it was going to be the 39, but they spotted officially at the 44. Yeah, that's one of those plays. Another one that when it sails out of bounds is always interesting when that back judge starts walking up to see exactly how far he's going to walk. And he keeps going and going and going. And in this case, he went all the way to the Olympian 44-yard line. Man, excellent field position for them to start their third possession of the game.
Two receivers to either side of Burton. As the handoff goes to Kavienga, Lau gets up to the 45-yard line, and that's about it. Terrific pursuit again by Trevor Neer. Also in on the play,
Brought down by number 9, Trevor Neer.
Boyette. So a 1-yard gain. It'll be second down and 9 for Leuzinger.
Man, yeah, I got to tell you, I'm feeling real pumped about this Leuzinger offense tonight, Lou. I'd really like to see them air this thing out as much as possible. I'm sure they're going to take their shots at it when they see it. And boy, they've got them spread again as they've got 4 receivers in the play.
Man in motion is Poulian to the left side. Is this going to be a wide receiver screen and a good pop on defense by Alejandro Solozano, their big defensive back. And that is going to be a 5-yard loss, 4-yard loss, a 5-yard loss. So it's going to be third down and 14.
Deshaun Burton's pass, complete
Yeah.
number 2, Roderick Poulian. 4-yard loss on the play. Tackle made by number 3, Alejandro Solozano.
So now the Olympians faced with their own big third down play, as you mentioned. This time they've got to look up the field. In order to pick up the first, they need to get to the 46 of West.
And Idris is split wide to the right. Simmons wide to the right. Simmons wide to the right. Idris, as Burton is looking, being chased down, gets away from one man, throws it out of bounds. And good pressure by West defense. Number 75,
Okay,
Ryan
nothing doing.
Ioti.
So Deshaun Burton wisely throws it as tight to the sideline as possible. And in fact, it was tipped out and away by one of the West defenders. So now Leuzinger will need to punt.
And that's Omar Busio time.
Number 44, Omar Busio into punt for the Olympians.
And I see
Back to
that
receive
he's
number 10, Ronnie
shed
Clark.
his holder. With 33 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Leuzinger trailing 7-6. Busio puts his boot into this one. A fair catch called for by
Whoa.
Ronnie Clark, and he started to take off.
And, well, that's close to a flag, but the official gave him the benefit of the doubt that he lost his footing and fell forward instead of
And
starting
Tony
to run.
Sawyer was there too.
right.
Probably just wanted to get out of the way of that hook he's got on his left hand.
Exactly. And you really can't appreciate how big that thing is until you're down there standing next to it, Tony. You got one of the most personable Olympians to come through in a long time, in the mold of one Raynard Westbrook. Ray was out at the stadium last week at Lou
I
House.
missed him.
Sends along his regards.
Well, thank you very much. We got to get out to see him at El Camino High School. Clark pops,
Gotta
throws
turn
it
around.
on the run, has it out of bounds. Terrific catch by Trevor Neer as Sawyer was on the defense, couldn't keep up with the taller Neer. And it's first down inside of Olympian territory. That was a pretty pass. Just had a nice touch on that one.
First down.
Well, actually, Tony got caught where he never turned around to see the ball. Not even sure he knew it was coming in this direction on that one, and he got burned on it.
34 yards on the hookup for the first down. Trevor Neer, 5'10", 190. Looks a little taller than that. Is now Clark, throws it over the middle to Slowey, and incomplete. And Slowey pays the price.
Yeah.
It's Kavienga and Sawyer there to say, not this time.
No. Now, one thing about Sawyer on a play like that where he just got burned for a big gain, man, that'll make him open his eyes just that much bigger. Had a huge play against Miracosta last week in the early going that prevented a touchdown, and he'll make up for it, I tell you that.
Slowey to the right, to the left, and Near to the right. Out of the shotgun is Clark, 2nd and 10, handoff to Hengler. Makes a nice cut up the middle, out of one tackle, and finally brought down on the play by Manu Sakona. But it looks like a first down for West, deeper inside of Leuzinger territory.
Another Warrior first down.
Well, sooner or later, one of the things that you got to do is put a spy on Hengler. I mean, he's just that much of a threat. You know, he's the heart of their rushing attack.
And that's going to end the first quarter of play. We're going to switch sides and come right back on Channel 22 Sports. Back at West High School, Rufus Washington and Lou Stowers with you on Channel 22 Sports. Game of the week. Leuzinger Olympians travel at about 5 miles across the 405 and into Warrior territory. And they trail it 7-6. And Rufus, what do the Olympians have to do to put the cork in the Warrior offense right now?
Well, right now they got to play good defense. They've been exploited two ways. But I think, again, it's the running game that they really have got to pay attention to, just like they do on that play.
As Clark on the quick snap hands it off to Hengler. And a big play by Isaac McCullough, who has 28 tackles coming into tonight's game. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Tackle made once again by number 50,
McCullough, one of those guys that most teams look to avoid, but he's all over the field and he has a nose for the ball.
So they'll be out of the shotgun now, trying to get things going quick as everybody's running out of the huddle. And two quarterbacks now out there as the ball is handed off to Austin Waters. And he looked like he wanted to do the halfback option, ran out of bounds. But not before he gets a gain on the play.
So a little sleight of hand that time by the Warriors, as you mentioned, to have the appearance of two quarterbacks on the field. In fact, the regular now takes the field, Ronnie Clark.
7 yards on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Warriors. Second quarter just underway. Double tight end set. Clark sends a man in motion. That's DJ Diaz.
I think Leuzinger's going to give him one the cheap way. Man.
Flags before the snap. Will be a dead ball offsides against the Olympians.
And that will give them 1st and 10.
And that's their second offside penalty of the night.
Resulting in a Warrior first down.
Their down linemen are seeing something that the official isn't seeing. Because when they make that play, essentially what the defensive lineman is saying is that I saw the offensive lineman flinch, move, or whatever. The contact is intended to draw the attention of the official. The only thing it's drawing is that the official's attention toward the Olympians.
So that's the second time that's happened now as Clark goes under center out of the eye. Hengler is the dot on the eye. Two receivers, double tight end set. Hengler gets the ball, goes over left guard down to the 15-yard line.
Dan Hengler with a carry, gain of 2 on the play.
And Lau Kavienga with the tackle.
Well, from where they are now at the 15-yard line.
So a 2-yard gain.
this field, as you can tell by the markings. If you're at home looking at it and you see the extra Lions fans, obviously it's a soccer field in addition to a football field.
That's right, and those are permanent lines out there on this synthetic surface. It really is terrific. It's never going to go away. It's made out of recycled tires. Ronnie Clark out of the pocket, trying to get as much yardage as he can, is scampered out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Chasing him out of bounds is Terrell Guerrero.
Clark had a lot of time before he decided to take off and run with it. Got to tell you, I thought there was a little bit of holding there on the O-line for West. Not called by the officials, so they'll play on.
So Ronnie Clark leading West, and they also lead the ball game 7-6. And he'll be under center. Eyes split behind him as the ball is pitched to Hengler. Has nothing but end zone in front of him. Touchdown West. Dan Hengler with another touchdown run. This one 10 yards, and it's 13-6 Warriors.
10-yard touchdown run by number 44, Dan Hengler.
Lou, that's one of those you heard me say a moment ago, that you got to put a spy on Hengler. If nothing else, he is their threat. That time the Olympians took their eyes off of him, and man, you talk about getting food on the fake. They left Hengler wide open, and now we're going to have yet again. Let's see what this one is. Goes against West, but of course, you know, I mean, it's an extra point attempt. Their kicker's already shown that they'll back up 5 yards.
So Hengler with a 10-yard run, his second touchdown of the night. That caps off a 7-play, 74-yard drive. And that took about 4 minutes. Waters in to hold for Laporte. This will be a 25-yard attempt. Right down the middle. So a 9:44 left in the first half. West opens it up and takes a 14-6 lead. And so for West, 2 offensive touches and 2 touchdowns. And Leuzinger, well, they just really kind of went away from their game plan there in their second series of drives.
Well, they certainly did. We'll see if they can recapture their mojo on this drive. Of course, again, what they got was a lot of Hengler, but that touchdown was set up by the big pass that Tony Sawyer got beat on, is what set that one up.
Yeah, that was the big play of the drive. The big 34-yard hookup to get the first down from the 26-yard line all the way to the 48-yard line, losing. And some big holes opened up by the offensive line for Dan Hengler, making it pretty easy for West. Diaz with the kickoff, and it will be Poulian from his own 6-yard line. Poulian gets to the 20, cuts back in towards the middle to the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Leuzinger after the 20-yard return.
Good return by Poulian to get him out, as you mentioned, to the 28-yard line where they're going offense again. And this is another one of those situations where now it's really important that they answer and answer right away.
That wouldn't be a bad idea to chew up about maybe 9 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock either. Simmons and Poulian are the back splits, but Cavienga with the handoff, and the scrum ends at about the 30-yard line for about a 2-yard gain. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Olympians.
Number 3, Talmor out of Cavienga with the carry. And 2 on the play.
and tough up front.
Exactly. Well, I think they've got a couple of options. One between pushing through the defensive line and letting loose their receivers and throwing the ball upfield.
The three-man front shown by the West Warriors. Deshaun Burton back to pass, has time, flushed out of the pocket, and is caught and brought down at about the 32-yard line. After a 2-yard gain, it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Olympians.
So Burton's forced to pull it down. Looked off all of his receivers, couldn't find an open man, and he picks up about 3 on the play.
They do give him 3, so it'll be a long 5 to the 33-yard line. But you got to credit that one to the West defense, who showed a 3-man front with the linebacker going back into, or the defensive end, I should say, going back into defense, and that was Dan Hengler. Now there's Andre Papai, number 40. He's going to drop back into defense as the throw is caught at the 50-yard line and into West territory by Jonathan Jackson, the senior.
Good catch by Jackson again. And that's all it is. It's a matter of finding the holes. Well, when you're running 4 receivers out there and they're playing a zone against it, there are holes somewhere in it, and it's just a matter of finding them. Of course, Deshaun Burton is the kind of quarterback that has that capability, and that time he did.
So it's 22 yards for the first down catch. And let's see how big that one is on this drive. Burton has 2 receivers on either side of him. It's Idris and Simmons to the near side. Burton looking down the middle is chased out of the pocket again. Gets a block. He's going to keep the ball and go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, they say. Thought he went a couple of yards further than that. But I tell you what, big old Sean O'Neal is really getting in there, the nose tackle.
He was, and you don't rarely hear this said again in football, but it was a good no call by the, wow.
He only got 1 yard on that? Okay.
That must have been something that neither you or I saw, because I could have sworn I saw him turn the corner and go up the field.
I thought he got at least to the 41-yard line, at the very least. Well, at any rate, we have Devon Stepper and Jared Simmons split to the near side. Ball is a bad snap, and Burton throws it over the middle, has a man open, but it's tipped by Kyle Slowey as Junior Nash was open over the middle. Actually, that wasn't Nash, that was Ike McCollum, excuse me. So it's going to be a big 3rd down and 9 for Burton and the Warriors, or the Olympians.
Man, reach in your pocket, give me $100. I'm going to take it down there and see if I can get the band to stop playing for the rest of the game.
Well, how many guys are in the girls are in the band? You'd have to have a lot of $100 bills. Or unless you're just going to bribe
the drum major. That's
majorette.
That's what I figured. I'd try that first. Wow.
Another bad snap, and Burton has to go back to get it and throws it on the run. He's lucky it wasn't picked
and now
off.
We're
it's going to be 4th and long.
Wow. Well, this is going to be interesting. It's either going to be intentional grounding against Burton, or it's going to be a defensive interference on the defender that came over the back of his intended receiver.
Pass isn't complete. There is a flag on the play.
And that intended receiver was run over. So we'll just have to see what's called by David Batnotch.
Wow.
No flag. He's going to pick it up and put it back in his pocket.
We'll bring up 4th and 9 for the Olympians.
Well, that was what he said. I think the comment was that, or the discussion between the officials was that, hey, we got both things, so why don't we just wave it off and let it go at that, and that's what they decide to do.
Well, so now it's going to be 4th and 9. And I would imagine this would be a punting situation with 7:09 left to go in the second quarter. Busio coming on to punt the ball away. Sawyer comes back on. And Ronnie Clark, the quarterback, is going to receive the punts, set up at about his own 13-yard line.
Omar Busio into punt for the Olympians.
Kicks it high, and this one's going to hit in the end zone. Nicely done. Let's see if they can get it before it goes in the end zone.
Yes,
and
they
yes,
do.
It is down at the 1-yard line. Terrific coverage on the play.
Looks like that was Kavianga in on it.
Down at the 1-yard line.
So a net punt on the play of 43 yards down at the 1-yard line. Lau Kavianga doing a great job.
Well, that was certainly the break that the Olympians needed here. Boy, now the question is, can they keep them pinned back here so that they can get the ball back in pretty good field position?
Well, they're going to have to not allow Ronnie Clark and Dan Hengeler to make a big play. So terrific. Boy, what a difference Busio has made in the Olympians this year on special teams. Clark has Hengeler, the lone man in the backfield. Double tight end set. Ball is handed off, and is it a safety?
Well, the Olympians think so, and the side judge agrees with them.
So a loss on the play of a yard, and it's 2 points for the Olympians. 14-8.
14-8, and what's important about that safety, Lou, is a couple of things. One, they get the 2. That makes up for the missed extra point, so that the next time they score, when they do score, and we know that they are going to, fans, now that'll put them at 14-all with a chance to take the lead.
So Busio really doing a job there. He can get a big assist on that safety if it wasn't for his 43-yard punt, and also Kavianga downing it at the 1-yard line. Just a terrific play by the Olympians on special teams. So Omar Busio really earning his varsity letter.
Really earned it, and you're right. I mean, you couldn't have said it more perfectly, and that is that Busio deserves an assist on that safety.
And even though the big offensive line of Stephen Amos, Jonathan Kavianga, Sammy Williams, Isaac McCullough, and Lorenzo Lepe doing a terrific job. Also, you got to credit the linebackers led by Lau Kavianga and Ike McCullough. Also, Terrell Guerrero. Well, what an impact player he's been on defense all season long.
And now, as a result of the free kick, the Olympians with the opportunity, Lou, to get the ball in excellent field position.
And that was at 6:56.
Their return men set up at the 30 and 25. Idris lets it hit. He's got to pick it up. That ball's live. That ball's still live.
It again. Look out. It's at the 25-yard line. Who has it?
Well, I think they're going to say that Leuzinger has it.
And Idris does get on it after Kyle Slowey's punt.
They will take over at their own
25-yard line. So, well, at least they have the ball back.
At least they have the ball, but a missed opportunity there in terms of not having a return, not being able to get a return out of that free kick by West, which could have conceivably, in all likelihood, have given them even better position than being at the 25. Heck, they've done better than that on kickoffs tonight.
Well, we'll see what they could do as Simmons and Jackson are split to the near side.
I think you go right at them early. You pick the weak link. West is playing with 4 guys in the backfield, and you figure out which one of those guys is the weakest link, and that's the guy that you go right at.
West is looking blitz as now the handoff is to Pullian up the middle. Look at Pullian go to the 35-40. He puts it into 6th gear to the 40, down to the 30, and does get pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Check that, the 25-yard line. Inside the 25-yard line, a huge play for Pullian.
And an excellent call by Coach Dion Tolliver and his coaching staff, because the weak link that they saw that I was saying exploit was the fact that the line was spread out, and it's like, hey, if we can get past the O-line, past the D-line, it's clear sailing, and that's exactly what happened. A
53-yard run for Roderick Pullian 2 men in the backfield again. Burton this time passing over the middle, and nobody's home. Somebody didn't know what play it was.
Well, it looks like he anticipated Idris cutting to the post, and instead Idris didn't make the cut. Ball was there, but he wasn't there.
So that was Roderick Pullian's first carry of the night. Boy, was that a big one, with 6:39 left to go in the first half. So it'll be second down and 10 for the Olympians.
Big opportunity here for the Olympians. This is one, Lou, that they've got to cash in on.
Jackson gets the swing pass, almost a lateral, and it's cut down for a loss back to the 25-yard line. A 3-yard loss, so it's third down, 13.
So this drive moving in the wrong direction, 3rd and 13. Once again, Olympians needing to look up the field. They look in the flat, nothing doing there.
Idris back in, Jackson out. And it'll be Idris. The low man split to the near side. Simmons and McCullough split to the left. And at the wing, it's going to be Pullian, Kavienga. And now what are we going to get? Too much time?
Flags before the snap.
Wow.
So
another
illegal
procedure penalty against the Olympians. Boy,
that's not what they needed. That's their third 5-yard penalty of the night. First one on offense, or is this the first one on offense?
it's the first one on the offense, but it's like the third or fourth tonight in terms of procedure penalties against the Olympians. Movement along the line, which has cost them about 20 yards tonight in penalties.
And no penalties called on West. Trips to the left side. Idris split to the near side. Kavienga, the lone running back, play action. Burton rolls out, looking down the middle, has nobody open as Idris. Actually, they cleared it out, and the right side was wide open, so it's going to be fourth down now. And
well, they're going to go for it. I mean, I don't think they have much choice from here. Once again, this would be a 47-yard field goal. That's out of Bucio's range. So if it's out of his range, you can either choose to punt it. I mean, that's an option, or you can go for it. You give them the ball back at the 30, which isn't too bad defensive position to have to work from in case you don't pick up the first.
Fourth down and 18. Last time the Olympians were in this situation, it was a 25-yard touchdown pass to Jared Simmons. Idris, along with Kavienga, split to the near side, trips to the left side. Burton has 5 men in the pattern, has a terrific pocket, all the time in the world, and now tries to get something going, and the throw is going to be called.
Well, they're going to say,
that's going to be past the line of scrimmage, as Tashawn Burton was well past the line of scrimmage at the 30-yard line. So intentional grounding is called off because West Warriors illegal forward pass because Tashawn Burton was at about the 27-yard line, and it's turned over on downs.
West High will take over at their own 30-yard line.
So West gets the ball at the 5:19 mark at their own 30-yard line. And again, Leuzinger sputters after they get into West territory.
They sputtered after. That was a big opportunity that they let get by. That's one to make note of because they had excellent field position after the safety and couldn't capitalize.
Pullian really got him into good position, but then they went backwards after that from the 22-yard line after the 53-yard run. So Kelly hands the ball off to Hengler. Hengler running roughshod into the defensive backfield of Leuzinger to about the 34-yard line. So it'll be second down and 6 for West.
Tackle made by number 24, Tony Sawyer.
As you heard, Tony Sawyer making the tackle there.
Second and 6 for the Warriors.
So right now with 4:45 clock running left here in the first half, Leuzinger, of course, wanting to control the damage at this point, which is pretty good. They've played a good first half. I mean, they've missed some opportunities, but I got to tell you, to only be down 14-6, they are in pretty good position.
Hengler with the 1-yard run. Good defensive stop there by the offensive line. Lorenzo Lepe in the middle. 4-man front for Leuzinger all season long.
Looks like now we've got a timeout taken on the field by West, which gives me a chance, Lou, to remind the fans, as we did at the top of the show, as they're enjoying this broadcast. We're here with four minutes left in the first half. This is a winner-take-all contest in terms of somebody's season will potentially end tonight unless they're lucky enough to get an at-large bid. Okay, and that's hoping against hope, because there are a number of good teams in this Pacific Division that they play in. And then secondly, you mentioned the senior night for all these guys. So for a couple of guys, this could be the end of the road.
That's right.
In terms of high school ball.
So the Olympians got to make some hay, that's for sure, if they want it to continue.
Well, right now they've got to of course, they'd rather have the 14 rather than the 8, but I think that Coach Tolliver and his guys have got to like their position, and he's got something to work with as they go in the locker room at halftime. But, hey, that's still 4 minutes away.
4:06 left to go in the half. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for West and Kelly, as he's being chased out of the pocket by Bonds, and he takes off looking for 5 yards, has the 5 yards, and goes out of bounds. Being chased out of bounds by Terrell Guerrero, but not before he gets a first down.
Good for a Warrior first down.
Big block put on one of the Olympians there by one of the West O-linemen, and that could be the kind of wake-up call that the Olympians need, just to see that that's one of those spec type of things, man. They're not showing them no spec right now, Lou.
Well, a good defensive coverage in the backfield, the defensive backfield downfield, but Ronnie Clark gets away. Clark throwing the ball underneath to Diaz, and now we have a flag going up right in that same area, and a loss on the play. But let's see what the flag's all about.
Clark's pass complete to number 1, David Rodriguez.
And that flag came in pretty quick, boy. It almost would appear that it's going to be okay.
Illegal block in the back against West High.
That's what it had to be, because there weren't too many white jerseys around. So this is a break for the Olympians.
And
finally a call going their way. So David Batnotch talking it over with Lau Cavienga.
I'm not sure what the discussion is here, except where the ball would be spotted, because you're going to back them up. Question is, do you want to make it 2nd and 10? Or you want to back it up and make it 1st and 20? I say you make it 1st and 20, okay, rather than 2nd and 10, which it would be from the 44-yard line.
That's where the foul happened. And so the big penalty marked off.
And actually,
penalty from the spot of foul.
Goes back to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, so it's a 1st and 23 now.
So Clark sends Slowey in motion to the far side. Back to pass, looks over the middle, is caught by Slowey. Slowey is caught from behind and tackled at about the 35-yard line. And a good play by the right tackle, Christopher Bonds. Christopher's had himself a terrific year. 32 tackles, 2 sacks, and a block punt.
Bringing 2nd and 18 for the Warriors.
Up to the 38-yard line, so a gain on the play of 7 yards. Slowy is slippery.
Slippery Slowy, and of course, again, we will get a chance to see him during the basketball season because he is a key part of this West Warrior team.
Clark back to pass, throws it on the right side, but his receiver didn't turn around. He kept going. That was Kyle Slowy. Tony Sawyer on the defense. So it'll be 3rd down and 18.
Now, first thing you do, Lou, is you find out where's number 44 at. Because here's what we're not going to let you do. We're not going to let you rumble for a 1st down, and you need 18. So I find him, I put my guys on him, and then I go whoever they send out in the pattern, and it looks like they're sending.
Don't even see him out there at all.
Well, that's a good
is
sign.
not out there. Man in motion to the near side. Ronnie Clark wants to go for it. Look out. The defensive line just makes a sandwich out of Ronnie Clark. That's big old Mano Sakona. And that was along with Lorenzo Lepe, the 2 tackles, making a West Warriors sandwich.
Yeah, not sure about that play, man. I mean, they call the quarterback keeper on. The Olympians were ready. Boy, give their defensive coach a lot of credit on that one. They were ready for that play. And even though Hingler was out, you sort of expected that they were going to pass. And I think that was the whole part of the design of the play. Let's make them think we're going to obviously throw and we'll do a quarterback sneak. Didn't work, so the Olympians, again, with an opportunity to get the ball in pretty decent position. I don't think Coach Holt's that kind of gambling man, not with this much on the line in this particular game.
Slowy will punt from about his own 28-yard line. And Denzel Idris is camped out at his own 25-yard line, takes a step or 2 back. So
Leuzinger prepared for the fake.
As Bonds tries to block it, Idris catches it at the 28-yard line, has some blockers up the middle, gets up to the 45-yard line trying to get away, is finally picked up and thrown down by Alejandro Solizano.
Taken by number 17,
and that's exactly what they wanted to see on the last play. Of course, they got it, and that's what I was saying, man. With the return opportunity, look where he got him out to the 47-yard line, and lots of time left on the clock at 2:21. I think the Olympians have 1 timeout left. We know they just burned one, and I can't. Not certain. In fact, I think they may have 2.
I believe they have 2, Rufus. So from the 47-yard line, 2-minute offense coming here with 2:21 left in the first half. And this is kind of a must-score opportunity.
I'd use my 10-second offense and just throw it straight up the field.
Roderick Pullian doing a good job. They may want to stick with him.
Number 2, Roderick Pullian with a carry.
Boy, once he gets past that hole, he can really shift it from 2nd to 4th in a hurry.
Certainly can, and as you said, on the last drive where we had the big 53-yard gain that put Leuzinger in excellent scoring position, they weren't able to capitalize in the red zone, and now they've got the ball out just in West territory at the West 49-yard line with another scoring opportunity.
1:45 clock running. Tashawn Burton has 2 receivers to either side of him. 1 man in the backfield. Burton looking left, look out, gets away from 1 man, gets a big block, throws it downfield. It's caught by Idris inside the 30-yard line, and it is a completed pass. Idris did not cross the line of scrimmage.
And big number 54 got a little payback. He said, I remember that nice blindside block you got on our guy last time. Let me give you a little dose of that. So give big number 54 for the Olympians a tip of the hat, boy, for returning the favor. That was Cheyenne Bates, 5'10", 210-pound junior.
So big old Cheyenne getting it done. Had his number changed. So he can put an Olympian on his helmet after that one. So it's 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. 1:13 left to go in the first half. Burton, 4 receivers, 2 to either side of him. Looking left, has all the time in the world, throws it, and just underthrown as a defensive back. Luke Trudnowski was right in the way. Jared Simmons
And that pass was intended for Jared Simmons. Haven't called his name in a little while after he had the big first quarter.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Jackson comes off the field. Idris coming back on.
Wow, just think.
Coming back in as well.
An Olympian score here with an extra point after what has been a first half where they've basically climbed uphill. To be able to go in the locker room with a lead would be monumental for them.
Simmons and Jackson split to the left. Idris to the near side to the right. 2 back split. Burton looking to the left. Now looking to the right. Takes off and gets inside the 25-yard line. Down close to the 20. And it's going to be a big 3rd down play.
Tayshawn Burton with a scramble of 8 yards. Brought down by number 68, Sean O'Neal. I'll bring up 3rd and 2.
3rd down and 2 for the Olympians. But what a job the defensive backfield for West has done.
Right. And I think they've got a couple of options here, Lou, as they look at on a 3rd and 2. Let's set the clock for folks. It's 53 seconds left here in the first half. Ball's at the 20-yard line. Need to get to the, actually a little past the 19, near the 18 to pick it up. But a couple things happen. They can go either way here. They can keep the ball on the ground. If they pick up the first, clock stops automatically, can step up and spike it and run a play. So they don't necessarily have to pass here, but what they do have to do is pick up the first down.
Absolutely. And you got Roderick Pullian in the back pocket there. He can pick up some yardage for you. He's already proven that, as Kavienga really hasn't been able to push through the defensive line. Let's see what the formation is. As Jackson splits out to the near side. He'll have Pullian with him. Kavienga, the lone man in the backfield. Burton, actually they're going to sneak it. Burton tries to dive towards the 18-yard line.
I don't know. This is going to be awfully close. This is one of those. Wow. They don't. Do they give it? No, they don't give it to him.
So it'll be 4th and 1.
4th down.
Wow.
They're going to go for it. So they called 2 plays during the timeout, Rufus. Burton back to pass, looking for the end zone, and he better look out because he's going to get sacked and turn the ball back over to the Warriors.
Burton is sacked by number 44, Hengler, and number 68, Sean O'Neal.
Hengler hadn't been doing much on offense in the second quarter, but he just came up with a defensive play in the second quarter with that sack.
West High will take over at their own 23-yard line.
2 drives, the last 2 drives, Lou, where Olympians were in excellent position. Boy, this may be two drives of the season that they'll come back to rue. The fact that they were not able to capitalize with any points. Some points, anything is better than what they ended up with. And, of course, West here will just, I'm sure, down the ball and go to the locker room.
With 23 seconds left, and that's exactly what they do. And Tayshawn, instead of trying to dive for that first down, maybe he should have taken another couple of steps to his right because everybody was kind of bunched up over there. But now the coaching staff is wondering what the timekeeper's doing.
No, a little
and
bit of
Coach
confusion.
Holt says, well, let's just call it a half.
Clark will take it in, bringing it into the first half of play. With a score of Leuzinger Olympians.
So it's 14 to 8.
Warriors 14.
West Warriors leading the Leuzinger Olympians, who really did not capitalize on 2 terrific opportunities. One that we just saw to end the half.
2 great opportunities, Lou. I mean, the bottom line is they go into the locker room trailing by a score of 14-8, which means it's still anybody's ball game. But when you look at the fact that they let 2 golden opportunities get away from them on this last one, 3rd and a yard and a half. And you're right, they called 2 plays in the huddle, but boy, they get nothing out of it, man. And when you can't pick up a yard and a half, that's not a good sign.
Second half kickoff just moments away as Omar Busio warming up down at about the 36-yard line. 14 to 8. And Rufus, let's go over some of the stats real quick. For the West High Warriors, Ronnie Clark, 4 out of 7, 49 yards. Rushing, Hengler, 11 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown and a safety. Clark, 3 carries for 13 yards, Slowey 1 for -1, and Waters 1 for 7. Receiving, Slowey 3 for 11 yards, and Neer 1 for 34 yards. So not very impressive, even though they have the lead. In passing for Leuzinger, Burton 10 out of 17, 111 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. Rushing, Burton 6 carries, 8 yards. Poulian 2 carries, 57 yards, and Cavienga 6 carries for 9 yards. Poulian has 1 catch for -4 yards. Idris 3 catches for 50 yards, all first downs. And Simmons 4 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown as Omar Busio kicks the ball off, and the third quarter is underway and back in his own end zone, and they're going to call it a touchback as David Dominguez or Rodriguez catches it with his foot in the end zone.
Absolutely. One of those rules that one day they'll eventually change in high school football. Even if you catch the ball and you're in the end zone, it's automatic touchback, no opportunity to return it. Having said that, I was looking at a different kind of stat, and here's a couple of facts. One, West has 14 points. The first 7 came off a big turnover that Leuzinger made that they capitalized on deep in their own territory. And then the second one came courtesy of 1 big play. So short of those 2 big plays, this Leuzinger team has played West pretty straight up. Now, granted, Henley scored on both of those plays, Hingler, I should say. But you got to give the Leuzinger defense a lot of credit for being in this game. The other stat was that 2 times in the red zone, 0 points.
That's right. 2 straight times in the red zone and a 2-yard gain. So if I remember right, Greg Holt is going to try to soften up the middle of the line with Hengler in the second half. And he is
and interesting, didn't
right
see a lot of him in
Clark.
the second quarter. You're
no,
right.
Not at all. Clark looking to pass, pockets, collapses, and he throws it on the run, dumps it off to Hengler at the 30-yard line to the 40. Is hit hard out of bounds by Poulian. Also there to greet him is Sakona, but not before a big first down by West.
Big first down. The D-line could not hold the pursuit that it had given it. It flushed him out of the pocket, as you said, had an opportunity to drop him for a loss, but instead let him get his feet under him, and he gets a pass upfield to Hengler. Boy, that takes him out to the 42-yard line.
And 20 yards on the play. It looked like Leuzinger might get a sack on that one, but Hengler somehow leaked out into the flat. And Hengler gets it again, and good defense as Guerrero was there pushing in from the side. And on the inside, it was Isaac McCullough. So it's no gain, second down and 10 yards to go.
Brought down by number 42, Terrell Guerrero.
So, Leuzinger defense just complimented them on how well they had played there in the first half in terms of holding them. And now they come out and give up a big play, but they still have an opportunity here to force them over on downs.
Clark throws it across to the right side to Slowey and stretches out, trying to get close to that first down marker. Let's see where they spot the ball. On the defense, Ike McCullough.
Clark completes to number 8, Kyle.
That's a 9-yard gain.
Bring up 3rd and 1 for the Warriors.
So inside of Leuzinger territory at their 49-yard line, it'll be 3rd down and 1.
So Coach Holt and his coaching staff saw something in the first half that they went in the locker room and said, hey, let's try this. And so far, whatever it is they saw and trying now, it's working.
So 3rd and 1. We have a big tailback, full house backfield, and Hengler follows a big lineman who is at a fullback position, Morgan McGuire, 5'11" to 190, and it's a big first down for the Warriors on 3rd down again, down at the 45-yard line, so it is a 4-yard gain.
Tackle made by number 71, Isaac McCullough.
So Isaac McCullough playing left guard along with the right guard, Lorenzo Lepe, and Manu Sakona, the left tackle, the right tackle, Christopher Bonds a formidable group up front for Leuzinger. 9:08 left in the third quarter. Handoff and a good kick-out block on the left side, Rufus. And Hengler just rumbled through for about 7 or 8 yards.
Of course, this is a lot of what they saw in the first quarter with Hengler. And now they're starting to move the ball against the Olympians a little bit at will. This being a big drive, perhaps the possession of the game for the Leuzinger defense, Lou. I mean, right now it's a 14-8 game. You really want to give your offense a chance to get back in this, and right now the defense is getting pushed around a little bit.
So Clark has men in the eye, wants to go back to pass, rolls out, throws on the sideline, and it is complete again to the far side by Slowey. Or is it complete? Nope.
Clark's pass is incomplete.
Incomplete.
We'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Well, they had that down to play with. They looked upfield, and now they, once again, defense is going to be challenged. And here's what we have seen thus far. And I think you can almost anticipate again that this is going to be a handoff to Hengler.
And Big Dan is the tailback in the eye. 2 receivers to the near side. Handoff to Hengler. He busts his way through. It's going to be a little tougher this time. Let's see if he gets
Dan Hengler,
to there.
2-yard run, very close to a first down.
Coming up off the bottom of the pile is Guerrero and McCullough. Ike
Brought down by
McCullough.
number 9, Ike McCullough.
Wow.
And let's
Well,
see
with
if
the
he got
spot,
the.
boy.
That's all important spot. Also in there as well was Isaac McCullough.
There's an official's timeout for a measurement.
So the best Leuzinger can hope for is a 4th and inches.
And well, if it's 4th and inches there, they certainly going to go for it in all likelihood. From here, it looks like they got it.
By about a half of a football, it appears. And David
And that
Batnosh
run by
And
Hengler was good for a
says
Warrior
first down Warriors at the 35-yard line. So let's see if Leuzinger can recover here.
Well, they certainly have been tested, and right now, if they are to recover, this is the moment to do it.
Slowey comes in motion. Rodriguez pitches the ball to Hengler, and what a collision over on the sideline.
And
that was John Leota with a big head-to-head.
hadn't called John's name much tonight. In fact, John was out last week.
So
So makes
2-yard
his
loss.
presence felt in more ways than one.
Oh yeah, he'll feel that one. And Johnny, that was a 2-yard loss. DJ Diaz comes on with Ronnie Clark and Hengler coming out. So think it could be a passing play.
Well, you know, and we saw a play early in the second quarter where we thought that was going to be the case. Ended up being a quarterback keeper that the Olympians were ready for. In fact, this one is a pass out in the flat
To Slowey, and Slowey goes out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Maybe a net gain of 1. On the play, Tony Sawyer pushing him out of bounds. So they give him up to the 23.
We'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Warriors.
Check that, 33. So that was a gain of 4 yards.
but still makes it a long 3rd down and 8 for West. So here's a good opportunity, the best one so far on this drive for the Olympians, to maybe force a punt.
A 5-yard gain on the option play as Ronnie Clark gets up to the 35-yard line. Leuzinger was all over that funny-looking formation. Getting up off the bottom of the pile is Stephen Amos.
Out for a short loss.
So it's 4th down
That will bring up
Fourth down and about 10 yards to go.
Absolutely, 4th and 10 from the 35. Well, let's see. They're slow to show us.
Well, slow is
what
the
they're
punter.
gonna do.
And their place kicker is number 18, Michael Laporte. So going to be a little pooch.
No, I
punch,
think
maybe.
of the Olympians, you're going to have to play this straight up. Okay, now he drops back into more of a standard punt formation. Of course, this could be a direct snap to the up back, so the Olympians need to stay alert, Lou.
And it is a little pooch punt, and this is going to go out of bounds, probably at about the 25-yard line. It's Kyle Slowey.
Here's that official walking up the sideline.
That's okay.
He still hasn't stopped.
So are they going to give him a net punt of about a yard and a half?
Oh.
Who was it? It was the old line judge, Tim Greer, just walking up the,
Right.
the sideline there saying, okay, this looks like a good place to stop.
They control the ball, Lou, 6 minutes and 20 seconds here in the third. Came away with no points, but boy, they kept the ball out of the hands of the Olympians. But now they've got it. Credit the Olympian defense, man. Give them all the credit in the world.
Here comes Pullian, trying to get around the end, and does gain 3 yards on the play, and gives Ronnie Clark a shot up to the 36-yard line.
Number 21, Stephen Woods with the tackle.
More like a 4-yard play.
And we got an injured Olympian down on the field. Looks like he's got a cramp that he's trying to shake out. He's not going to be able to do it. That's number 50 in your program, fans. And, of course, we know that number 50 is
Manu
Utoka
Sakona.
Sakona. Yeah.
At that cramp going in the calf area. Being helped out by Lau Kavienga. So with the timeout on the field, that was a terrific stop. Finally had a 3rd and long, the Olympians on West High School, and forced kind of a funny pooch punt and a little bit of a break again.
A little bit of a break again, and what has to be considered up to this point, the biggest 3rd down stop of the season for the Olympians.
Absolutely.
Again, fans, we can't tell you too many times with 5:40 left, 5:14 left here in the third, that this is an all or nothing game. Both teams know that. Both coaches know that. Again, talking to Coach Tyler beforehand, he was real matter of fact about it. And these guys were prepared for that. And to their credit, thus far, even though they trail by a margin of 14-8, I think they played a pretty good ball game and still have more than a fighting chance of winning this one.
Oh, absolutely. It's down 14-8 with 5:14 left to go. 6 points ties the ball game up. The extra point puts you in the lead. So they're still waiting for big Manu Sakona, 6', 265-pounder, to get off of the field. There he's getting some feeling back into the leg. 9 tackles, but Rufus, a team leading 9 sacks. That's got to be up there in the Bay League leaders.
Well, this whole Leuzinger defense has been up or in the early part of the season. They've dropped off some, but you're right. His 9 sacks has to be one of the leaders in the league.
Pullian gets the handoff,
Number 2,
and he was grabbed by Sean O'Neill, and it was a tug-of-war match. And Pullian finally gave way at the 39-yard line, close to the 40-yard line, where it would be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go for Leuzinger.
And I got to say, Lou, another thing, a little surprised that not more of the Olympian faithful came out tonight for a game that has so much at stake for this team, for this group of seniors, for a bunch of guys who've given everything that they've had and done everything that Coach Tyler has asked of them and put themselves in a position to go on. And you only got to make a 5-mile ride down the road, as you mentioned.
Now it's a big 3rd down play for the offense. Burton back to pass, swings it to Kavienga, actually Pullian, and he is undercut at the 39-yard line, and a big defensive play by West High School, Rufus.
for the Olympians continuing to show this West defensive backfield a lot more credit than I think they've actually earned tonight. In terms of their reluctance to really stretch this defense. They've thrown it up the field a couple of times, but they've settled quite often for these passes in the flat, these little flare passes, and haven't had as much success out of them as they did early on in the season.
Busio on to punt, kicks it high and short, and it'll be down at the 30-yard line by Leuzinger. So Omar Busio doing a good job without the kicking tee on the punts.
Exactly.
He's really been working hard on that, I know.
And actually, he has been, and you said this before, and I agree with you 100%, a very valuable weapon, and a weapon the last couple of years, Leuzinger Olympians have had a pretty good kicking game, which is something that for years this program lacked.
And boy, how many games did we see slip away because they didn't have that kicking game?
Exactly.
So now, let's see what Ronnie Clark can do against the Leuzinger defense, who are showing blitz right now. Out of the shotgun, Slowey in motion from the far side. Look out, here comes Bonds somehow.
Okay.
All right, Bonds does finally get the sack.
Wow, and that is a big 12-yard sack. They'll make it 11 officially.
All the way back to the 19-yard line, so it's going to be second down and 21 yards. So for Christopher Bond, that is his third sack of the year. A loss of 11 on the play for Clark and West. Let's see if Leuzinger can put a lid on this one. Hand the ball up to Hengler. He hits that line so quick and hard, but he's pushed back again.
No gain on the play.
It's amazing how one big play can lift your spirits, and that sack by the Olympian defense lifted their spirit enough, man, that on that play they dropped Hengler, I believe, for even a half-yard loss on it. So it's going to make it a third and a whole bunch for this West team.
Stephen Amos and Ike McCullough on the tackle there. As Ronnie Clark comes in, Hengler comes out. So obviously on 3rd and 22, it's not obvious, but with Hengler out, you would imagine that he would be throwing the ball. Next to him is Trevor Neer.
Remember when they were in this situation before, they tried to quarterback sneak the fool to Olympians. Okay, got to get him.
Good coverage by the Olympian defensive backfield. Clark has some open field and trying to contain him again. And now Christopher Bond pushes an offensive lineman right into Clark and out of bounds. So a good play by Bond, but Clark gets some yardage back, and it's going to be 3rd down and 15.
But not nearly enough, as the defensive backfield for the Olympians had good coverage on all the guys out there, and of course forced the quarterback to pull it down. Ronnie Clark, we're talking about, the 6'1" senior.
So check that 4th down and 15 after the 7-yard gain. But that just goes to show the strength of Christopher Bonds. 5'11", 205 pounds, just pushing a lineman right at the quarterback and pushing everybody out of bounds. So Slowey back in punt formation at his own 10-yard line. Idris at his own 41, getting set to receive the punt.
Could be time for Denzel to break one.
Nice punt by Slowey. Catches it on the run. Actually, it's muffed. And Idris finally picks it up at the 45, 50, and is stuck at the 42-yard line. Is slapped out of bounds, and now a flag comes up.
Come on.
And that is going to be, actually the players police themselves on that one. But something happened back. Don't know if that was going to be an illegal block or something, but that would really hurt the Olympians as they have. Yep. And it's going to be against the Olympians as Luke Trudnowski.
The block in the back is the call against the Olympians.
And that's huge.
Yeah, it is. That's going to back them up. I believe the penalty on that's going to be 15. from the spot of the foul, and they're right at midfield. So that's going to take it back to the, well, it's a 10-yard penalty.
It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Well,
Leuzinger
Denzel was
good field
inside the
position.
45-yard line of West, and now it's about close to a 17-yard difference.
Well, they were saying the foul took place at the midfield stripe, even though the advance was up the field. So they marked it off from there. Olympians with excellent field position, another good opportunity.
Burton throws it to the far sideline and is caught by Denzel Idris, or is it? They're going to say no. It goes out of bounds. Thought Denzel might have snagged that one on the far sideline for a 14-yard gain.
Burton's pass is ruled incomplete. Will bring up 2nd and 10 for Leuzinger.
The pass was complete. It was ruled out of bounds. That's what it was, but
okay. So 1:08 left to go in the third quarter. 14-8. Leuzinger trailing, has the ball. 2 wide receivers to either side of Tashawn Burton. 1 man next to him, protecting him in the shotgun. Burton throws it to the left. It's complete at the 42-yard line, up close to the 49-yard line before the receiver is brought down. And that was Denzel Idris.
And that was the case, Lou, where instead of throwing a flare, what they did was they took what the defense gave them. Again, they saw the hole in the zone, threw the ball right in the hole in the zone defense, pick up 9 yards on the play, makes it a 3rd and short.
Well, I wonder if Denzel has been checking the seam in between the line and the safeties. Looks like he either wants to dump it off at the line of scrimmage or go for the home run ball. Simmons and Idris split to the near side. Julian, one of the receivers, to the far side.
And on 3rd and short, they're going to come out of the shotgun. Here it is over here. Idris has it. Can he get the first? Idris still trying. No.
With a big defensive play for West, and now it's going to be 4th down and about 2 yards to go.
You know, John Madden used to make a point of this. If you need the first, go to the first, okay? You know, they threw short of the first, hoping to be able to make it. I think well, that's the end of the third quarter, and we've got 12 minutes left. And if you ask me right now, boy, this is borderline, Lou, right now of maybe having to think about going for it here.
Well, I would think you kind of have to gamble with it. And another questionable call to try to go for it on a swing pass there, when again you've had a running back that has had some success at pushing the ball forward.
And you're right. That was a play they called. They thought they saw something that they could capitalize on. It didn't quite work for them.
And maybe if that pass was a little bit forward instead of behind Denzel, would have been a different story. But big rush again put on by West High School as they know what's coming.
Exactly. And that's one of those things, as we were saying. I mean, that's a conventional rule. So they elect to kick it away, and you can't argue with that considering we still got the whole 4th quarter to go.
So Ronnie Clark comes up big on defense after being frustrated on offense by Leuzinger's defense, with a big 2-yard loss to Leuzinger on the swing pass to Denzel Idris. Busio going to punt the ball away. Clark is at about his own 20-yard line. Puts his big boot into it. Clark lets it go, and better get away from it. It's going to be right at the 20-yard line.
So a pretty good punt by Busio there. Now remember,
a net 30-yard punt.
To start the third quarter, West kept the ball over 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Now it's going to be a matter of whether, although Leuzinger forced them to turn it over to them on a punt, you don't want to give them that much time with the ball here to start the 4th quarter.
So Ronnie Clark brings him out on a damp night here in Torrance. Finally, we get some football weather.
Right.
Another shifting formation trying to confuse the defense, but they're going to blitz it. And the throw is complete to Neer. Neer gets up to the 40-yard line and dives forward to about the 43 as he was undercut by Junior Nash and a first down for the Warriors to give themselves some breathing room.
Big 23-yard gain. That time for Wes. Again, the challenge for the Olympians can't be stated more simply, fans. Right now, they've got to muster all the grit, determination, courage, strength, and everything else that they've got to not let Wes score again. No way. Be it safety, be it touchdown, be it field goal.
Slowly in motion, Tony Sawyer's watching him. Hengler picking his way through the offensive line and falls forward. Boy, he just straightens up and just goes right through there and is going downhill all the time. A big 4-yard gain. After the Guerrero tackle, it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, you have to like how Coach Greg Holt and his staff use Hengler. Boy, they know the right spots to put him in, and every time they've called his number, he's produced for them.
Danny's a 5'10 senior, 204 pounds. Here comes the blitz, and Hengler runs right through it. And he knows where to fall down. It's close to a first down.
Dan Hengler with a 7-yard run.
Well, he runs through it, and the blitzing man missed him. Of course, when the blitzing man misses you, then guess what? That leaves a real nice hole that you can go right through.
And he gets the first down on a 7-yard run. So it's 1st and 10 Warriors inside of Olympian territory with 10:37 left to go in the game and a 14-8 lead to boot. Everybody stacked up on the line for Leuzinger. Slowey goes in motion. Sawyer follows him on defense as Trednowski gets hits, and now the penalty flag is thrown their way.
With the carry. No gain on the play. There is a flag down.
So let's see if that's going to be holding or not. So it's a good stack up by the defense of Leuzinger, regardless of the call. And it's going to go backwards for West High School. But first we have to have a call.
Yep.
So
now
there's
we
protocol in football. There's some protocol here in football. We can't just have everybody running roughshod with the ball.
Exactly.
Old David Batnotch says, wait a minute, I haven't made the call yet. Give me the ball.
And for you Rayshawn Haylock fans, hate to disappoint you tonight, but the world's #1 high school sideline reporter, king of the post-game interviews, holds the world record for most number of post-game interviews, is not here tonight, so you're going to go lacking in that regard tonight.
Going to send him to bed hungry.
Right. But Rashad's away on assignment this week himself, and he'll join us for the playoff run if we head in that direction, and if not in that direction, he'll certainly join us for the for the basketball season. Well, we're sitting here looking at Leuzinger, and fans need to be reminded that the Lawndale Cardinals, in fact, themselves are playing for a playoff position tonight as well.
How about that? Back to pass is Clark, flushed out, still looking for somebody to throw to, can't do it. Stiff arms McCullough out of the way, and now we have a flag on the play. And let's see what that is. Is it a face mask on Clark?
Well, you're going to have a face mask against Clark. I mean, clearly he grabbed the face mask of the defender.
Like McCullough.
Now there was a flag back here in the backfield. Well, wow. They're calling it against...
Really?
Against Leuzinger.
Wow. I wish we had replay. Now, let's pretend we're looking at the replay. They should have had a double face mask. I mean, if you're going to give it one way, you got to give it the other, because definitely we saw Clark's paw inside of the cage of McCullough.
And then you had a flag that was thrown back here by the back judge, who, again, from where he's on the field, there was no way he saw that face. I don't think, anyway, saw the face mask way up there. So I thought he had a different flag back here, but apparently he didn't. Obviously he had the same call, because that's the only one that they go with.
So it's first down and 15 after all of that. Clark trips to the left side, one receiver to the right. Hengler behind him. Swing pass, and that is complete, but it's going to be another loss.
Good
DJ
job.
Diaz.
Good job that time by Ike McCullough to get a hand on the receiver for West that allowed one of his teammates an opportunity to get there and help him make the tackle.
So a loss of 3 yards on the play.
Clock,
DJ Diaz.
Clock just dropped under 9 minutes. Remember, West opened this quarter with the ball, so they've controlled it right now already for 3 minutes.
Second down and a whole bunch, about 18 yards. Clark sends his man in motion, but the ball goes the other way on the misdirection to Hengler across the 50-yard line, and a good open field tackle by Tony Sawyer as Hengler gets up to the 47-yard line of Leuzinger. An 8-yard gain, and it's going to be third down and 11.
So again, this Leuzinger defense in good position. They've done some good things tonight, and yet again, they're giving their offense, hopefully, if they can hold here. That's the first thing they got to do in this 3rd and 10 situation.
Here comes the blitz. West picks it up, thrown downfield, and a man is open, but good defense by Junior Nash, and getting up slowly is the intended receiver. And that was David Rodriguez. So it's 4th down and 11, and the offense wants to stay out there and go for it. But let's see what Greg Holt does.
He's not going to go for it on 4th and 10 here.
So 2 receivers got past the Olympians' defense, and they dodge a bullet.
Clark overthrew his intended receiver, so the Olympian defense does what it has to do. It's a 4th and 10.
And Idris doesn't trust him. He's only back at the 30-yard line. Now he's going to go back a bit. Slowey. High spiral. He's going to call for the fair catch at his own 20-yard line. Smart play by Denzel with 7:40 left to go in the ball game. And Leuzinger a touchdown away from tying this one up.
Yeah. They're going to spot it officially at the 15, Lou, which means that Leuzinger has 85 yards of turf to negotiate, 7 minutes and 40 seconds to do it. Again, for what would be a playoff spot if they're able to do it.
So 27-yard punt for Slowey. And let's see what Tashawn Burton and the Leuzinger Olympians can do with the ball this time around. They have 85 yards to go to pay dirt. And we have a whistle. Is it too much time?
Yeah, they're going to call it illegal substitution, or I don't have anything. Let's see what the house announcer says, but I think that's a substitution penalty, which is also a delay of game.
Well, they did send in a man real quick, or too late.
Illegal substitution is the call against the Olympians.
Exactly. That's what I thought it was, substitution.
So you were right on
which
it.
is also a delay of game, is what happens.
So the ball goes back to the 10-yard line. Tashawn Burton passes it, and it goes in and out of the hands. The ball was thrown just a bit behind the intended receiver, Junior Nash, but still should have caught it.
Right.
So it'll be 2nd down and 15.
Now, most of these kids weren't even born when Kool and the gang were doing their thing, man, but they're enjoying the music of Kool and the Gang, Jungle Boogie.
That's right. Well, let's see if Leuzinger can
first down for the Olympians.
33-yard pass play. And another first down. Another first down for Denzel Idris, as he has really been piling up the yardage. Trips to the near side for Tashawn Burton. Burton on the play action. Better look out. He's going to be sacked.
And he's got a flag on the play. Should have a face mask going the other way this time.
And Torrance Haynes.
Burton is brought down in the backfield, but there are flags on the play.
Personal foul, face mask.
Wow.
Will be a personal foul.
Ref almost pointed the wrong way, man. I was about to go walk. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
And that's the big 15-yard variety. That's going to be a automatic first down.
And that's exactly what the Leuzinger Olympians need.
All proceeds go towards the Berlin Music.
And Terrence Haynes, the junior, 208 pounds, 6'1", says, "Ah, shucks, I didn't know I grabbed that part." But from the spot of the foul, let's see, are they going to make it an automatic first down? It should be. It'll be 1st and 5. Okay.
It'll be 15 yards from the previous spot.
At the 38-yard line. Burton under center. Back to pass. Wants to go deep. Going for it all. Has a man open. Denzel Idris makes the catch inside the 15-yard line. What a beautiful catch by Denzel Idris. And he went up against the best defender that they had, Alejandro Solorzano. A huge hookup for the Olympians inside the 20-yard line again.
Exactly. And some of the Leuzinger fans are watching this broadcast will say, and what took them so long? But better late than never, as they say.
That's right, a 54-yard hookup from Burton to Idris at the 11-yard line.
Third time.
Well, let's see if they can, third time's a charm. With 6:45 left to go, clock running in the game. 14-8, Leuzinger trails. Burton throws the fade pass, and it is caught.
Touchdown.
And touchdown, Leuzinger. Is it Denzel? Yes. Denzel Idris with the 11-yard touchdown catch from Tashawn Burton, and it's all tied up at 14. So how big is this extra point?
Big, the biggest one of Busio's career.
Wow. 2 huge catches by Denzel Idris.
Omar Busio in to attempt the extra point.
Busio making the mark. Tashawn Burton will hold it.
This is huge, fans.
It is wide left.
Wow.
A big push by some of the quick guys.
Wow.
David Rodriguez came in, maybe distracted Omar. And now Omar is talking about it now.
And it's hard to fault Omar. You know, we saw him a couple of weeks ago, man, when the Olympians were on a roll. He had a career night that night. We know the young man has a talent and the skill to get it done. That time, boy, when it would have made all the difference in the world, would have given the Olympians a 1-point lead in the game. They can't come through and pick it up.
4 plays, 85 yards. About a minute and 15 seconds. And it's all tied up at 14. So that safety is pretty huge right now.
Well, that safety is everything, you know. And right now, you're saying, Mr. Busio, if you can do it one more time.
So this defensive stand by the Olympians is even bigger than the last one.
Again, this is one of those. And why did he do that? You know, when I would just ask for fun. It doesn't bother me. I'm just curious as to exactly what it's supposed to accomplish.
If a kicker's kicking like that, that's adrenaline because he's almost kicking the ball with his ankle at that point. If you're going that far. Now see there, why couldn't he have done that?
Wow.
Big boot by Busio to Rodriguez in the end zone, and he says, why couldn't I have done that?
Exactly. Now let's see if the Leuzinger defense can pick up some momentum off of this. Because if you're West, and in all fairness to the West Warriors, man, they have played a heck of a game here on their home field in front of their home crowd on senior night. And to have led the entire game up to the 6:35 mark of the fourth quarter, and now to find yourself in a tie, that has to be a bit of a downer for them. And so now they've got to pick themselves up off the floor psychologically.
And let's see if the defense by the Olympians can stick. Ronnie Clark and the West Warriors out of the shotgun, two receivers to the near side. Clark rolls to this side, has all the time in the world, has a man open, and Poulian can't get it. And now the receiver gets away. DJ Diaz is going to go all the way down to the 5-yard line, and Poulian catches up with him. But a big 75-yard play, and Poulian is hurt.
And that was Poulian that turned around, attempted to make a defensive play, didn't make it, and then got caught out. Having to chase him down.
So the biggest catch of DJ Diaz's career, 6'1", 185.
So that's
and Ronnie Clark had all the time in the world to throw it, too. $75 yards on the play.
Wow.
And they give it to Hengler, and a big defensive play by Leuzinger, and that was Cavienga somehow squirting through there.
Dan Hengler with the 4-yard loss on the run.
4-yard loss is still second goal. And the big loaded backfield there.
So Leuzinger looking to make the big stand here for it, and you talk about having your back against the wall. This drive started at the 5, loss of 4 on the play, backs him up to the 9, gives that defense a little breathing room to be able to read and react, because that's what's important now, because when your back's against the wall, you don't have a lot of time to
Hengler has the ball inside the 5, inside the end zone, touchdown West. And he paid dearly for that one. He was hit hard as he went into the end zone. So it's a 9-yard run for Dan Hengler.
And Hengler still down in the corner of the end zone.
He got hit, Rufus, right around the shin or the knee area.
So he laid all out for the Warriors of West, and man, you talk about responding. You credit that touchdown run with how many yards?
9 yards. So a big play by Dan Hengler on his 22nd carry of the game. And he is still down in the near corner of the end zone.
So it took West 1 minute and 19 seconds to answer that touchdown by the Olympians. 1 minute, 19 seconds, big 75-yard play. Boy, you know, got to give the West quarterback, Ronnie Clark, a lot of credit, because he's been chased quite a bit, but somehow or another has managed to get away on virtually every occasion and convert them into big plays more times than not. And on that one, he made what right now clearly has a stand for West as the player of the year.
Absolutely. And with a big hookup, 75 yards, Clark to Diaz is now Hengler is up, going to be helped off. He really took a whack from one of the Leuzinger defenders as he was diving across the end zone. With 5:17 left to go, it's a 20-14 ball game.
Always a good sign to see any player who's been down for a while come off under their own steam.
It's a cold night, and that hard plastic helmet and shoulder pads coming on that bare leg, especially on the side of the knee there, can't feel too good. But it feels good if that touchdown, after the touchdown. So did it count, Coach? Kick is high, true, and through. So with 5:17 left to go in the ball game, West on the 9-yard run by Dan Hengeler makes it 21-14 in favor of West. So let's see if Leuzinger can answer. So as DJ Diaz was open, Ronnie Clark had all day as he was rolling to his right. And Roderick Pulliam got tangled up in his feet, just couldn't get to the ball in time. But Pulliam did stall the inevitable touchdown by Hengeler by getting that touchdown-saving tackle. Let's see if they can utilize the speed of Pulliam this time down.
Exactly. I mean, Pulliam looked back, saw the play, attempted to make a play on the ball. The receiver just outplayed him and made the reception. Then, of course, it became a foot race. And to Pulliam's credit, never gave up on it. And, in fact, gave his defense a chance. But in the end, a little too much Hengler.
Great field position, and there's a battle again. DJ Diaz and Pulliam, with Diaz making the tackle this time.
Number 81, DJ Diaz.
Man, I thought he was almost gone on that one.
So that was a 26-yard return. With 5:10 left to go in the ball game. So at the West 48-yard line, they call it, Burton is under center. Back to pass, look out. Burton comes up, and he's going to take off. Has a lot of room to run. Gets inside the 30-yard line, and a big pickup of almost 20 yards. Deshaun Burton.
And stops the clock on the play. So a lot of good things happen for the Olympians on that. And wherever you are, Mr. Busio, where's the net at? Somebody over there needs to be practicing extra points right now.
So a big 18-yard pickup for Deshaun Burton.
Now here's what they've got. If you look at the far sideline, you've got touchdown Tony Sawyer practicing the extra point.
Wow. Jared Simmons and Roderick Pulliam split out to the near side. Kavienga, the low man in the backfield, and gets the ball. Kavienga past the 30, slips 1, 2 tacklers, and gets inside the 25-yard line. Clock still running, 4:50 left to go.
Lots of football time left. Leuzinger right now looking good in their response to this West score. I like what I'm seeing, and I don't know, Jeff, you can get a shot of that from up top where you are, but on the far sideline, touchdown Tony Sawyer practicing the extra point, and it looks like that's what they're going to have if they get in the end zone to make the attempt.
Simmons split out to the near side, and the ball goes to Kavienga, picking his way through, and it was Sean O'Neill getting the shirt tail of Kavienga to hang on, but not before a gain of about 3 yards. And that's close to a first down, Rufus. Actually, that is a 4-yard gain and a first down.
Exactly.
That one is good for an Olympian first down.
So it's Simmons and Pullian split out to the near side. Idris to the near side. We'll look out for that. Caviega. The ball is loose. And West says they have it. Leuzinger says they have it.
Okay, they're saying Leuzinger has
the
it.
officials say they have it. So no gain on that one as the center. And Deshaun Burton couldn't hook up on that one. It's been a little bit of trouble. Maybe this artificial surface is getting a little damp.
Well, it certainly posed its own set of problems for the Olympians tonight. We talked about that before.
Center is Isaac McCullough. Deshaun Burton, Idris to the near side. Rolling out to the right side and completing the ball to, is that
Touchdown!
Sawyer? Touchdown Leuzinger.
Now we got multiple flags on the...
19-yard.
And if these flags are against the Olympians...
Pass for Deshaun Burton.
And that's going to be a celebration, I'm sure. Personal foul.
So number 2,
Well, the question is, when will it be enforced is the real issue, because if it's going to be enforced, if it's enforced now, wow.
So it'll probably be enforced right now.
If it's enforced right now, there's a ball game, there's your season, because now you're going to be asking your well, in fact, this may bring Busio back on the field instead of Tony Sawyer, because this is what would equate to a field goal attempt instead of an extra point attempt.
Sawyer's now going off, if they're going back to the huddle, but it was Roderick Pullian with the touchdown catch. And spiking the ball at the 3:02 mark. So just under 2 minutes, or actually 2 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock.
Wow.
Five-play drive.
Now
And
that
that
brings the ball out. Well, if you look at where the ball is now at the 18-yard line.
Penalty from the 3-yard line. It is assessed on the extra point.
So here's Busio back at the 25-yard line, so it'll be a 35-yard attempt.
Wow.
Little more than that.
Talk about a reversal of fortunes. I'm not so sure I wouldn't even just go for the 2 points here.
Gonna go for the tie. Down by 1. High snap. Burton waiting for a man open. Can't see anybody. Throws it into the ground. And the high snap puts Leuzinger behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure where you go with that.
Deshaun Burton's pass falls incomplete. Pressure put on in the backfield by number 21, Stephen Woods.
So Leuzinger is that close. Still 3 minutes and 2 seconds left. And don't know if Dan Hengler is going to be available to try to run the clock out for Coach Holt and the Warriors. But you know he's going to give it a shot.
Well, he certainly will. I think that Coach Tolliver has all 3 of his timeouts, so they're in a pretty good position themselves, though, in terms of having all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And now the question becomes, do you dare try to onside kick? Actually, I think you kick it away. Just the same way Busio's been doing. You kick it away.
And let your defense get it back.
Exactly.
So it's a 5-play, 48-yard drive.
So
the 19-yard hookup from Burton to Pullian.
But unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, you know, that's a mental breakdown at the end of the day. You got to go, you know what? We're too close. I'm not going to do anything to mess this up.
And now another unsportsmanlike conduct.
And Leuzinger will kick off from their own 25-yard line.
Well, wait a second.
Well, there must have been another one. because we had multiple, well, I don't know if you had multiple flags, but it was after the touchdown and before the extra point.
Well, no, the last one had to have been just now. You already assessed the one
Right.
after that.
So there had to have been something after the PAT try. No argument from the sideline. So with 3:02 left, Leuzinger's in a real hole. So 30 yards and penalties when the ball is dead by Leuzinger.
Good
Now
kick
Ronnie
by
Clark
Buscio
gets it
to
at
get it out to the 20.
at
There's
the
a block in
20-yard
the
line.
back there.
No call right in front of the referee as Junior Nash makes the tackle, and decent field position for West as they're going to bring it out 1st and 10. And
Wow.
the block in the back was right in front.
Wow, I
of
mean
David.
that was as clear
Batnotch.
as it could be. You know, you don't see them often that clear. How that one was missed. These guys will have to explain that.
So 2:54 left to go in the ball game.
Ball will be spotted at the river.
It's at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Still an opportunity for Leuzinger. And there's no Dan Hengeler. Just looking for him on the sideline. But the running back is Luke Trudnowski. Slowey in motion. Trudnowski gets the ball. Guerrero gets Trudnowski, and it's a 3-yard loss.
Good 3-yard loss. Leuzinger uses I believe it's going to be them. Leuzinger using a big timeout here.
That was Trudnowski's first carry, and it's a timeout with 2:47 left. So Rufus, even when Leuzinger gets the touchdown, they miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate thing because these kids have worked so hard, but it's one thing or another.
It's one thing or another.
You can't spike the ball in high school. Looks great on ESPN or the NFL Network.
You know, well, I'm sure though that that he knew that before. You know, before the night, the exuberance of the moment of fighting back uphill, you know, became just got the better of him, and unfortunately, it cost his team.
Dan Hengeler still with a gimpy knee down at about the 30-yard line along the sidelines. Ronnie Clark brings him out, has backs in the eye. Trudnowski is the halfback. Leuzinger looking blitz. Trudnowski gets the ball. Guerrero gets the hits, and a gain of about 2 yards. Actually a 5-yard gain. Net of 2, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
And this time they let the clock run, and I think wisely so. They'll stop it after this down if they're able to stop them from picking up the first.
2:20 in clock running. Ike McCullough talking to his defensive lineman. Also in there, John Leota, both of them seniors.
Big 3rd down play, Lou. We said one earlier was the biggest of the season. This one now definitely is just that.
Ball handed off to Near
And now
Caviengo
you'll
with
see
the
the
big
timeout
tackle.
call.
Trevor Near with the carry, 1-yard gain on the play.
So it'll be 4th down and 7 after the 1-yard gain.
So it's the second timeout used by Coach Tolliver very wisely. Makes it a 4th down, and you know everything is still in play. Denzel hasn't had a chance, hasn't popped one yet. That's the thing you got. We almost popped one earlier.
Yep.
One man to beat, and couldn't do it. So West knows by far that they're not yet out of the woods on this thing. They're sitting pretty at home with 1:55 left, leading by 1 at 21-20. But that's all you can ask for is a chance. And Lou, that's what the Leuzinger Olympians have. They've got a chance.
Denzel Idris going to be right around his 30-yard line. Slowey leads out the Warriors. You know, winner move on to the playoffs, loser probably go home. And for these Leuzinger seniors, they've had a terrific run this year, but albeit a roller coaster run.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, win, lose, or draw for either team tonight, this will be a game that they'll remember.
This has been a terrific game.
That's the least you could ask for.
That's the game when you can come to our age to say, I ran for 900 yards.
Exactly.
And they robbed us. Slowey's kick is a short one, and they don't give Idris the opportunity to run it out. So I'm sure Greg Holt told Slowey, do not kick it up in the air.
Do not kick it up in the air. You know, a minute 47, little. Wow. You know, this is where.
This is it. This is the opportunity you want.
This is what you want. Wow. Well, let's set the table for the fans. The Olympians have used 2 timeouts. They only have 1 remaining, fans. Minute 47 left, score 21-20. They've got 69 yards of real estate to try to negotiate in that minute 47 to earn themselves a playoff spot. West is trying to hold them to earn themselves a playoff spot as well.
Idris is on the right side. Polian and Simmons to the left. Kavienga behind Burton under center. Burton has a nice pocket time. He's running out of time now. Throws it, and it's underneath, and Polian can't bring it in, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Burton's pass falls incomplete. We'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Olympians.
Had him open.
Yeah.
Put a little more air underneath it, and it would have been 1st down at midfield.
And of course, the other thing is the clock does stop on every 1st down. Now, as I see the drum major heading back up to the stands, I wanted to say this. This is something I don't like, that in basketball is not permitted.
Right.
You cannot, the band cannot play while the ball is live. Okay? And I don't think it's fair here that, and this is nothing against West band, this is against any band, be it West or Leuzinger, that the band can play when your opponent is in possession of the ball.
Trips to the left side for Burton. Idris, the lone man on the right. Back to pass on the play action. Gets away from one man, gets a blocker, and it's thrown downfield.
Looks like he's got the first.
Idris on the far sideline at the 41-yard line with 1:31 left to go. The clock is stopped, and no official word yet. Wow. Man, oh man, are they being tough on Leuzinger High School tonight? They being the official crew at the 40.5-yard line.
Well, Olympian's going to ask for a measurement, and properly so. They have every right to do that, I believe, is what it's going to be, unless the official is saying, you know what? Well, actually, they still have the right to ask for it to see.
They can deny it.
What is it we have to do? And that's exactly what they've done.
And it also gives them time to talk about it.
Exactly. You get time to talk about it. You get time for your team to rest.
So here they come, the chain gang, and a big measurement. And Ronnie Clark is right my way, and he says that it's about a half a yard short. So a favorable spot for West's defense.
Very favorable. It looked close. We saw the Olympians in this position before, going the other way, down on this end of the field. And now, minute and a half left. Obviously, 2-down situation. No matter what, I think you do first things first and try to pick up the 1st down. And he has it easily.
That's right.
So that'll stop the clock. Now, you want to get up to the line. If you haven't called a play already, you spike it.
I'm sure that they took advantage of it, as Burton is right up there. And the ball is marked at the 43-yard line. So gain of 2 on the play, actually.
Okay, clock running.
With 1:19 left to go, out of the shotgun, trips to the left. Burton goes to the left, looking for the home run ball. Everybody's covered, waiting for somebody to get open. Says he has a man open, and does have a man open, but a good defensive play
Now
Idris.
a late flag comes in.
Idris and
And guess
Trudnowski.
who else is out there? Hingler's out there on defense.
And that is a first down.
Big first down for the Olympians. They move the chains. They're going to spot the ball at the 43-yard line.
So 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go. And two wide receivers either side of the spread offense for Deshaun Burton. Roderick Pullian is the tailback next to him. Inside of Warrior territory. Burton looking across the middle. Has a man open. Idris inside the 15, rolls to the 10. Another big hookup from Burton to Idris. Timeout, Olympians.
Wow.
On the big 34-yard hookup.
No, they don't call a timeout. They do have the opportunity to spike it, though. Clock's running, 50-some seconds left.
What a big night for Denzel Idris. That's his 10th catch of the night.
And thankfully, the band stops for a moment. Still a clock, a timeout, I should say, in the hip pocket.
And Kabianga drops the ball, but it would have been a loss anyway. So it'll be second and goal. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Was it a live ball? Was it a lateral?
Yeah, they're saying that's the ball game. The official didn't whistle it dead. He's saying that was a lateral by the Olympians, and there goes their season on a fluke play and a no call by the officials here. Boy, and the Olympian coaching staff won't like this. There is no replay. So whatever the decision of the officials is, that's going to be it. Now here comes Coach Tolliver and the crew out on the field. This one doesn't have the appearance of ending in the manner that you'd like to see a contest in at all, Lou. But they're going to say, hey, it was a lateral or backwards pass. And
26-yard line.
Now, Greg Holt now is talking to one official on this sideline.
I want to get a look at Coach Tolliver.
And Coach Tolliver looks like he's talking to his team. The referee, David Batnach. And now Coach Tolliver's coming out to talk to him. And Dion explaining something, trying to explain something to Batnach.
Well, if you recall, early in the before the game started, there was a little ruckus between the Leuzinger coaching staff, one of the assistants, and this crew that said, hey, you know what, just make sure you treat us fairly, to which the official took exception, and that's understandable because I tend to say the same thing myself as an official. Coach, I always treat the game fairly. You don't have to tell me that because now you're suggesting otherwise. So they had a bit of a difference of opinion there, and boy, this won't do anything to convince the Leuzinger coaching staff that they didn't get the shaft on this.
Well, it's not only that, but calls all night long have not gone the Olympians' way.
Well, they haven't, but you know what? Here's what we got now, Lou. What you've got is a teachable moment, as the word of the term of the day is, for Coach Tolliver and his staff. They don't like what's happened. At some point, you're going to have to accept it and move on, all right? And that's what he's got to do. He's got to show his young men how you deal with adversity, how you deal with things you don't like. He's still on the field right now. He's close to an ejection.
And the clock is rolling. So they don't have to snap it because the turnover was made with 25 seconds left. And that is going to be the ball game. A 1-point difference between the playoffs and staying home. Leuzinger goes down 21-20 in a very frustrating game at West High. The Leuzinger Olympians come up short 21-20, and they're probably going to have to get some help. They will have to get some help if they do want to move on in the playoffs.
Right, they certainly will. Yeah, it's one of those deals they knew coming in. Both teams knew, not just the Olympians, but this West team knew as well that your destiny was in your hands. You win, you go on, you lose, you got to go home, hope for help. And again, to be quite frank and quite honest, the odds of getting any help are real, real slim when you're 6-4 on the season. But anything's possible. They won't know that until in the morning when they see what happens. But in terms of what happened here tonight, one, it was a great football game played by two good football programs, coached by two outstanding coaches, Greg Holt at West, Deion Tolliver at Leuzinger. Boy, they battled back and forth. Leuzinger was in it. I got to tell you, as games go and the way Leuzinger been playing the last couple of weeks, what a beautiful and wonderful way, albeit in a loss, what a wonderful way to rebound and respond after just a demolishing last week at home at the hands of Mira Costa. They've got a lot to be proud of, and I got to tell you, that last drive, that'll be one of those for the ages when you go, what if?
Right, exactly.
Right?
That's right, 11 yards away, actually 9 yards away from a touchdown, but boy, what an exciting offense Coach Tolliver put together, and really had the pieces to Sean Burton. And boy, you can't really say he had a favorite receiver, but tonight it was definitely Denzel Idris with 10 catches and some big ones as well.
Denzel had some big catches. Can't forget about, though, Jared Simmons, who really got him going in the first quarter. They kind of got away from Jared a little bit, but then again, Denzel's their number one receiver.
Exactly.
So, they started going to the man, and the man started delivering for him. And at the end, boy, but for a fluke play. I mean, it's one of those type deals, just an absolute freak play, your season comes to an end.
Right. And
I'm sure they would rather, they would rather end it on downs or a turnover or something, anything, but the way that it did.
That's right. Well, let's pick our player of the game and see who you going through your mind's eye. How about all the seniors?
All the seniors is as good as any, and I think it's an appropriate recognition because so many of these guys have been with the program now into their fourth year. And you look at guys like Deshaun Burton and some of the other guys who've been here, Williams and so forth. Man, this has been just a great run for them and one of the best runs in Leuzinger football history.
All right, so the Leuzinger Olympian seniors, you get our game ball for tonight. Albeit the Olympians come up short tonight at West High School, 21-20. But what an exciting ball game it was here at West Torrance High School. Well, Rufus, got anything else to add before we put a bow on this season?
Well, I think just a couple of positives for this program and for the guys who've been a part of it to take away. First of all, let's look at Deshaun Burton, all right? Already scholarship offer Portland State. Again, I think Deshaun's a D1 player all the way. Portland's a good opportunity.
That's right.
I think there are other opportunities out there for him that may come his way as well.
Well, after tonight, he should be close to 2,700 yards this season.
Absolutely. Denzel Idris, another guy that folks have got to be looking at, okay, for the kind of receiver that he is.
He had probably close to or over 200 yards tonight.
Jared Simmons has come on late to make a name. May take him some work, may take a JC a year or two to get there. Another guy in that same category because of the bad wing all year, touchdown Tony Sawyer. Made the sacrifice to move over to defense, all right? Because he was the other side of this offense in terms of Denzel on one side and Tony Sawyer on the other side. But he made the sacrifice because of the injury, went over to defense and played great in the defensive backfield for them. So there's so many positives, and more importantly, I think what Coach Tolliver has done has put his stamp, very much like Coach Morris on the basketball side, has put his stamp on this football program in terms of this is how we play, and you've got kids who want to come and be a part of this, and that's all the credit in the world for that goes to Deion Tolliver and the crew that works with him on that. So should it come to a disappointing end in terms of not making the playoffs, the future nonetheless has to be considered bright for this Leuzinger Olympian football program. And my hat's off to them for, for them it's disappointing. Most teams would be happy with 6-4.
Oh, right.
Let's face it, most teams would love to have that.
But this team had higher expectations.
And that's where they've come to. And it's great to be in that position when you can be disappointed with a winning record, because that tells you, again, about life. There's a whole lot to strive for and shoot for, and we wish all of these young men the very best as they go on to the next phase of their academic careers, of their athletic careers, but more importantly, as they go on to the next phase of life as seniors, because maybe, come May or June, whenever graduation is, you got to move on. We got other people coming through, so you got to go somewhere. And I hope that most of them are going on to further their education, because at the end of the day, that's the key to success, young men, is a higher education.
That's right, because you will get hit harder somewhere down the line in the road of life, harder than any one of the Cavienga boys have ever hit anybody on this field.
I'm here to tell you, I've been hit a couple of times.
Excuse me both, brother. Well, let's put a ribbon on this one and put a wrap, and maybe we'll do a playoff game here or there. But,
well, we're hoping,
we're smelling the oil on the hardwood.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
That's right.
We're done then.
Okay, let's put a bow on this one. And for Rashawn Haylock and who is it? Jill. Who's our lovely sideline reporter? Jill.
She just goes by Jill. Some people are like that. They just go by one name.
She's one name Jill. And Tom Strickfadden and one name Jeff up above us running the camera. And Tom Strickfadden and the terrific Channel 22 sports crew. This is Lou Stowers telling you once again the final score from West High School. The Warriors 21-20 over Leuzinger Olympians. Until next time, so long.